All right, we're going to the SWAC. Here we go, Pete. What you got?
I'm gonna go with. First of all, let me just tell people, the SWAC this year, considering how many new head coaches you got, considering how many second-year head coaches you have, the SWAC for me is an up and down. It's really anybody's league this year. But if I'm gonna go with anybody, I'm gonna say Alabama State because I'm looking at the fact that they brought in Andrew Body. Last year, Alabama State lost only one game in the East. It was on the road to Florida A&M. And then you bring in Andrew Body from Texas Southern. If Andrew Body can be the Andrew Body in terms of the potential, because one of the things is we have continuously seen this young man, but we've never...
Hold up. Don't start this football season on the wrong foot.
Let me finish then.
Can I get a real Andrew Body? Because you're disrespecting.
Well, you give me because nobody does it like you.
Oh my goodness! All right, let me do it, and then you can get back to your thing.
Okay.
Andrew Body. All right, go ahead.
How long you been holding that one in?
Oh, I could have kept going, but I didn't want to go into your thing. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, I'm just going to go with a stout defense last year. And then you look at what they add to their defense this year, Rico Doja. And then, to me, Alabama State really was a quarterback away last year. And so you bring in Andrew Body. And with the potential that Andrew Body has, see, we basing this off potential. But with the potential that he has, along with that running back room and the defense that they have, I got Alabama State as the champion. Then I'm going to go to the title game, the SWAC championship. Hey, I took the easy way out, people. I don't have no reason to lie to you. I just looked at Alabama State and Alcorn. I looked at Alcorn the way that they finished. This thing was basically Alcorn's championship game last year to go play in against Florida A&M. They had a horrible outing down in Houston against Texas Southern. It kept them out. They ended the season with a victory against Jackson State. Of course, Prairie View did what they needed to do and got a victory against Alabama State to end the season and got the SWAC West division title. But I just look at Alabama State and Alcorn for me as the easy way out right now. That is the championship for me. But once again, I don't know with this conference this year because it's so much turmoil and it's so much to learn about these teams. Absolutely. And because I have Alabama State as my champion, I'm going to go with the player of the year because this is the reason people have picked Alabama State to win the East and to possibly be the SWAC champion. It's simply because of Andrew Body with the addition of him to this football team. I think when you look around the SWAC landscape, everybody can say together, Alabama State needed a quarterback. And if Andrew Body gives us consistency and stays healthy throughout the season, I think he is what they need. And, of course, when you win the SWAC championship in your division, typically your quarterback wins that player of the year. And we all know when we look at the past conference champions, who has had the best quarterback? The conference champion. There has not been a conference champion where you look around and it was like that quarterback wasn't better than everybody else. And that's why I think Andrew Body will fall into that player of the year. When you look at coach of the year, it falls in line with everything else. Eddie Robinson Jr. I think that leaves him in a position to build off of. He has his way with the Magic City Classic against Alabama A&M. He went on the road and beat Jackson State at Jackson State's homecoming last year. Went on the road and fought tough against Florida A&M, and that was the only conference loss in the East. Of course, they lost to Prairie View, but when you win it all, you become the coach of the year. Disappointing team, I think we all can say this together. Alabama A&M, Connell Maynard and the Bulldogs. Nobody seems to be high on them. Even when you saw the SWAC preseason rankings and you saw them over in the East, nobody still seems to be high on the guy with the longest tenure in this conference. And for me, they're still going to fall into that realm of disappointing. Sorry, Bulldogs. Surprise team. When you get picked fourth.
Come on, man.
When you get picked fourth, that means people probably think you're going to win 2 to 3 games this year. Because when you fourth, they don't think you're going to beat anybody. And so for me, I'm going to go with surprise team, Southern University. Let me tell you something. For y'all that's out there listening, this ain't just because it's a home thing, right? This not because of that. But I think Southern University is a team under Coach Graves that a lot of people are underestimating. And because of that, I think the expectations are low for everybody. But I think they will exceed the expectations and find themselves in a battle. I'm not saying they'll win it because you don't see them in my title game, but I think they'll upset some teams along the way that you just like. Now, I didn't see Southern winning that game. That's why I have them as my surprise team. The worst team, of course, Mississippi Valley. I'm gonna go with Valley. We talked about it when you talk about those hardest schedules. They got the hardest schedule in HBCU football to me, having to go on the road the first 4 games, and it just don't get any easier after that. And my wild card team, I'm gonna go with Florida A&M. And the reason I'm going with FAMU is the wild card is we still looking to think that they're gonna bring what they did last year into this year. That of course they the defending national champions, right? Everybody, when you look at that, say, well, how far could they drop off? But for me, when you look at the coaching change, there's a culture change that goes along with a coaching change. And for me, I'm not saying Florida A&M went rock bottom. I still think having that Florida talent, they could finesse anybody at any given time in this conference. And for me, because I don't have them in the championship nor in the East or in the East as the division champ, I think as a wild card, they can find themselves at any given time back in that picture of maybe playing for a championship and defending their title. But if not, I think you may see a slight slope down, and that's okay because you got a year 1 head coach trying to, once again, changing coaches changes the culture. It's no longer Willie Simmons. Don't look at this team like Willie Simmons. It's James Colsey. And because of that, that's why I got them at the wild card. But I think they have the talent still on that team to do whatever they want to do in this conference.
That's fair. That's fair. I definitely agree with you on the FAMU premise because you can't look at this team like Willie Simmons. You just can't. I mean, he was such a boost to the team that him alone, he elevated you above your competition because of just how great of a coach he was.